All right, folks, I know you miss us. Peyton, you've got to pay attention. And Connor, just stop smiling, please. Okay, we're going to complete this table and then graph the function. So if you'll notice right up here at the top, you have an equation, y equals x plus 3. We have given you x values and we want you to plug them in and find the y value. So I'm going to start by moving this down here. And I'm going to plug in 0. So 0 plus 3 equals 3. So we know that the y value is 3. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to plug in a 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. So we know this is a 7. I'm going to do it the third time. We have 7 plus 3 is 10. So this is a 10. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot those points on this graph. So here we go. We've got 0, 3. We start at the origin, which is right here, 0, 0. And then we're going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3, and there's my point. Now we're going to go over 4 and up 7. I'm going to graph that point. And we're going to go up 7 and over 7, excuse me, and up 10. And we have graphed all 3 points. Okay? Now we gave you the 0, the 4, and the 7 to plug in. But you could have guessed or come up with your own x values as long as they would fit on this chart. All right? So we're going to go on to the next one. Complete the table and then graph the function. Anari, don't be mean to anybody, okay? And Kanaya, please stop scaring people. Anyway, complete the table and then graph the function. Again, we've given you an equation up here at the top. I'm going to write it down here at the bottom. Y equals 2x plus 3. I'm going to start with 0 and I'm going to plug in a 0. 2 times 0 plus 3 is 3. So I'm going to make this a 3. Now I'm going to plug in a 1. So 2 times 1 plus 3. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3 equals 5. So I'm going to put a 5 right there. Then I'm going to plug in a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. And the last one I'm going to do in my head because I ran out of room. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. So now we're going to graph those points. Okay? So the first one is 0 and 3. So we don't move anywhere right to left, but we go up to 3. The next one is 1 and up 5. So it's right there. The next one is 2, then up 7. And the last one goes over to 3 and goes all the way up to 9. So that's how you would do that. How many of these do you want on one video?
All of those 3. All of those 3.
That's the pig. I thought y'all would like that. So I'm going to the next slide now. Okay. So these slides here, or this slide here has 3 graphs, 3 tables, and 3 equations. Okay? They go together in sets. 1 graph, 1 table, 1 equation. And you're going to be doing this on your own in a classroom activity after I show you how to do it on this video. You may need to watch more than once to make sure that you understand. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these graphs, or excuse me, these tables right over here. And I'm going to see which one goes with which graph. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at -2, 3 over -2 up 3, and I can see it does not match the first one. -2 up 3 does not match the second one, but -2 up 3 does match this third one. So I'm going to make sure by checking the next one. That one worked. 0, 2. So I'm going to go 0 up 2, and it works here, so that one worked. Then I'm going to go 2, 1, which is right here. That worked. and then 4, 0, which is right there. So that one worked. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that table and I'm going to move it right here because those two definitely go together. So now I'm going to check this next table. -3, 0. Well, 1, 2, 3, 0 definitely is not the second one, so it's got to be this first one. I've got -3 and 0 is right there. I've got 0 and 3, which is right here. I've got -1 up 2, which is right there. And I've got 1, 4, which is right there. So I know those two match, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this over to here. Now I have process of elimination, so I know this works here, but let's go ahead and check the points to make sure. We have -1, 4. We have 1 up 2. We have 3 and 0. And we have 0, 3, which is right there. Okay, so we know those work. Now I've got to figure out which equation goes with which group, which graph, and which table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and I'm going to plug in, I'm going to start up here at the top. I'm going to plug in the -3 in this first equation and see if it works. So I've got y equals, and I'm going to say -3 plus 3 makes 0. That worked for the first one. Let's see if it works for the second one. I've got a 0 plus 3 gives me 3. It worked for the second one. So I'm going to try the next one. -1 plus 3 is 2, so it worked for that one also. And 1 plus 3 is 4, so it worked for that one. So I know that this first equation goes right here. Okay? I'm going to try to get rid of all my extra writing so you can see that it goes together. And the way I figured out that it went together was that I plugged in the -3, got a 0 out, plugged in the 0, got a 3 out, plugged in the -1, got a 2 out, plugged in the 1, got a 4 out. So I've got 2 more equations to check, okay? So I'm going to erase all my work here. Okay? And I'm going to do this. So the next one, let's move it up a little bit so I have some room to work with it. Okay, and I'm going to move this one down for now. Okay, so I'm going to go to the second chart here and plug in my numbers and see if they work. I'm going to start with a -1, but that already has a negative in front of it, so I have to put it in parentheses, plus 3. That was very tricky of you, Miss Benson. Negative times negative is positive, so you've got a 1 plus a 3, which is a 4, and lo and behold, it works. Now let's try the next one. We've got a -1 goes in parentheses, plus 3, and that equals -1 plus 3 is 2, and that works too. We're doing good here. I'm going to do the next two in my head. -3 plus 3 is 0. Yep, that one worked. And the last one, -0, which is just 0, plus 3 is 3. So that worked. Very good. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to move this equation here. I know that's where it goes. I'll erase my extra work so it's kind of out of your way if it erase. Okay. And again, it's process of elimination. I know that this equation has to go here. And if you want to check it, you just plug things in. I'm just going to plug in 0 for fun because that's easy. So -1/2 times 0 plus 2 is 2. And that works. So I'm not going to worry about the rest of them because I know I already checked the first two. So what you're going to do when you get your activity is you're going to be matching a graph to a table first because that's the easiest. Plot these points. Then you're going to take an equation and you're going to try out the x's in the chart, in the table, and make sure you get out the right y. So that's how you do it. If you have any questions, just watch the video again. That's what I would do. Do me a favor, Wayne, put on your glasses so you can see. And Ariana, come on, do your best for us. We got to get this going. Hare, wake up!